All right, so I'm going to be explaining why public bettors are exactly the same thing as sharp bettors, okay? Because there's this huge misconception being thrown around on the internet. If you go on Google and you search public action versus sharp action, or just the difference between the two, they're going to say that sharp action, at least from what I've read, sharp action has some type of inside information, okay? And they make it seem like the sharp action is the way you want to follow, okay? Which is completely false, okay? And I think the reason why that this information is out there like this is because of the fact that they want people that are novice, unsophisticated players to use that information and follow the sharp action, which they claim it's some type of inside information. Okay, like there's this separate group out there that has this knowledge about these teams. Okay, which there's not. Okay, it could be several groups. It could just be people putting large amounts of wagers on these teams. It could be people. I have a video about this that I kind of went into detail about, but not as much as I'm going to go into in this video. But it could be somebody that went to the school and is just putting large amounts of money on a team, on their favorite team, an alumni. Okay, so that does not mean that they have any connection with this team at all. Okay, doesn't mean they have any inside information, that they have knowledge. Okay, I'm not saying everybody, okay, but most of them, I'd say 80% of the time, that these people that are moving these lines, that has no effect. That is not inside information. That's all public action, okay? So I put public action and sharp action in the same category together, okay? Because that is that I just had to get that out there because there's a lot of articles out there, especially on sports betting websites, that go into detail about this stuff and claim that it's two separate things, which it's not. It's basically the same thing. So anytime you're following these line movements, okay, if that's the route you want to go, you're basically following the public, okay? Because sharp action is the same exact thing as public action as a whole, okay? In terms of volume, it's the same exact thing. And if you do that route and you follow the line movements, you're going to run into trouble, and you're basically following the public, okay? You're not following no group or any type of inside information. You could be following one person that has a lot of knowledge about the team, and then the next play you take, you could be following somebody that's just putting a ton of money on their team. Like I said, somebody that went to that school has no effect on any knowledge about the team itself. Okay, so just wanted to explain that. And the reason I have this board right here is because I'm going to be talking about the NFL. But I just want to give you a little bit of an example of some of these lines that move, and explain why you wouldn't just follow these lines, because it's all public action. Okay, so as you look here, I'm going to show some of these games. And let's see. Let me get a good example here, and see why these lines moved. Okay. Now, okay, so this one right here, this Washington Philadelphia game. If you take a look at this game, it opened up at 3. They had Washington as the favorite. Okay. Now, Philly, on paper, power rankings wise, they were considered the better team. Okay, so that is why this line flipped. Okay, so the public is obviously taking Philadelphia, which they won. Okay, 30-17. Okay, so they won here, right? Now, like I said, if you want to go that route and just follow these line movements, this is where you're gonna run into some trouble. Okay, without doing any research at all. And there's a lot of people that online that do that. You know, they don't realize that following line movements is not the way to go. So if you take a look at some of these other games, like for instance this Detroit game here, okay, same exact thing. Detroit opens as a favorite at home, okay. Now the line is flipped. Now Arizona's the favorite, okay. So on paper, Arizona is the better team. On paper, they're the better team. Power rankings wise, the public goes with Arizona, and look what happens. Detroit ends up winning. So at best, you'd go 1-1 there, and that's exactly how you're going to go no matter if you follow these lines. That is why I'm explaining there's this huge misconception out there, because I think the reason why they say this on every sports betting website, everywhere you look, on every article, is because the line makers and Vegas want people to bet on these supposedly sharp plays, and that's going to balance out the book. So that is just a tactic that they do to balance out their books and to balance out action in the event that they do take a hit on some of these games. So I'll be back with another video. I hope that information helped. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for sharing my videos, and I'll see you then.